Hello, everyone. Broadcasting live from the Fortress of Solitude, number 14 and 15 over here. Um,
It's cold up here.
it sure is. Let me change the lighting with that giant machine that points the sun at wherever I want it to be.
Man, you can, and the sun never goes down, in Antarctica or wherever they are. So it's always nice. Always
That's right.
nice there.
Room temperature, great room control. I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
also
You can have a
being
killer
robots.
sunroom.
Yeah, that was the first. That was the one thing that Superman was very clear with the architect. Like, I need a good
Yeah,
sunroom. Don't
you need a
ask
great
why.
sunroom.
Just know that I need a good sunroom. So, all right. Jeff, how's it going? How's your week been?
Oh
Did
man, it's
you
been full of rain.
Yeah. Did you have to cancel your Nintendo Switch 2 um
Because
pre-order
of the tariffs.
because of
Uh,
tariff?
I was getting ready to order another $600 gaming console that I will play 3 times in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so that's $200 a play. But then, yeah, I heard it was going to go from $600 to like $1 million after these tariffs kick in. So I'm going to stick with my Switch One for now.
I know.
Uh,
It's
Plus,
really a shame.
I have to buy an iPhone at some point, and that'll be $1,400 by the time the
Oh
tariffs
God.
kick in. So,
I know. Buy your stuff now before everything kicks in.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm gonna
People are
go.
saying there's a boom on like maybe there's like a boom on car sales and stuff like that because people are trying to get the last minute purchases in before everything gets insanely expensive.
I'm gonna go hoard iPhones like if it was a hand sanitizer.
Right, exactly. I've got toilet paper and iPhones.
Oh man, I hope we make toilet paper here in country.
Man, if comics somehow become a like the paper and comics are like, no, we accidentally burned all the paper in the world. Now
This is all we have.
we need this is all we have. I'd be like set.
Well, yeah, I mean for those stuff you have already at home because comics also get hit by tariffs because somehow they come from Canada. Not exactly
Yeah.
sure how that works out,
I
but
think they
you
get
got
printed up in Canada, so I think it's the paper that is getting
uh,
taxed
the ink,
and
all
the
that
inks.
beautiful, beautiful ink.
Yeah.
Um, Dang.
So
You think CW shows are gonna get more expensive because everything is shot in Vancouver?
it could be. You never know. Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Anyways, obviously you can see Jeff and I, tariff experts. This is from here. We're going to CNBC with Rachel Maddow
Yeah.
um,
As
to talk.
experts.
It's called Talking Tariffs. The show, our new show that we're announcing on CNBC.
We're
So make sure to follow
terrific.
and then also, Jeff made a special appearance on C-SPAN where he just ran through the Austin Capitol while the cameras were on.
Yeah.
Um,
I like doing stuff like that for the people.
just
It's
breaking into
good to keep
buildings.
everybody informed as best as we all can.
I think so. I
Knowledge,
just like appearing
knowledge is
on different
power.
networks.
Yeah, yeah,
I just
yeah.
like being on different networks. That's really, like you invite me, I'll show up. You don't invite me, I'll try to get it. I'll sneak in there. So, all right. Let's move on to some even sadder news, if you can believe it. We'll start there, and then we'll go up from there. I promise. As far as the
Yeah,
mood
yeah.
goes,
Let's
it's
start at
like
a low point and work our way up.
it's like an airplane, right? We're taking off. You got to build a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
runway, and a little turbulence. Maybe turn back around to the gate because there's cloud coverage.
And what's the one
Um,
thing you fear the most in when you first start an airplane ride? It's death.
oh, yeah, good segue. I guess I was gonna say lack of peanuts, but
Yeah.
or being stuck in the middle seat,
Oh yeah,
um,
that's also it.
or
Oh,
sitting
I
next
never
to a
choose the middle
baby.
seat. I'm always aisle seat.
I mean,
Always aisle seat.
now that Southwest is doing away with with come in as you go, like you're gonna be
Yeah,
able to just aisle it up.
one
You
hundred
should get
percent.
a middle seat, I think. Like you really, that would encourage people to like. I don't know. I would pay the extra $20 just to not sit on the middle seat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely will pay for comfort. Not a
So
ton. Like it's got to make
yeah,
sense, but I will pay for comfort.
yeah. All right. Anyways, enough of all our weird quirks. So this week, unfortunately, um, Val Kilmer passed away,
Yeah, that was a
which was
bummer.
very, very sad news. Obviously, when anybody passes away is pretty sad, but like I feel like Val Kilmer has been such a staple in a lot of the stuff that we're into. As far, I mean, we'll talk about some of the movies he was on because I was looking at the list yesterday. Like, dude was all over the place in a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. Like, just incredible career. Um, so let's start with Jeff. Do you have any Val Kilmer favorites? And here I'll pull up some his letterbox.
I think Top Secret, weirdly, is probably my favorite Val Kilmer movie. It's such a
Oh,
silly,
interesting.
uh, I love Tombstone. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is way up there for me. Uh, and then Willow, The Doors, like all the big ones, of course. But I think out of all of them, the one I think about when I think about Val Kilmer, it's I don't know, it's just that maybe it's because I saw it so many times on cable growing up because it was constantly on TV back then. And
Yeah.
it's just that I think it's a Zucker Abrams movie, so it's like the same people that did Airplane. So it's a
Okay.
silly spy kind of movie. It's a World War II kind of spy-y movie where he gets, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but he gets kind of
Uh-uh.
he's thrown in. He's an American singer, kind of like Elvis. He's like a mixture
Okay.
of the Beach Boys and Elvis all in one. And he gets tasked to fly overseas to Europe. It's not World War II, but it's like Cold War kind of stuff, and kind of infiltrate behind the enemy lines. But it's the same people that did Airplane, so it's full of like screwball gag comedy kind of bits and stuff like that. Lots of puns, lots of just dumb sight gags and stuff. Uh, but I don't know, it's stuck with me. All these years, it has stuck with me. I think it's very funny. It's dumb funny, but it's funny.
I don't is it even here? I don't see it on the list. Did I miss it?
It was up at the top, I think, somewhere.
Top
True
secret, you said, right?
Yeah, right there, right next to the doors.
Oh, here. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. It looks, yeah, I mean based on that poster.
Sandwiched right between Willow and the doors, right between the two best.
I will say every time I picture Jim Morrison, I do just think of Val Kilmer with the long
Same.
hair.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
even know in my head what Jim Morrison actually looks like.
When I see actual Jim Morrison, I'm like, nope, that's not him.
That's
Sorry.
not that's not what
You must be the one that's alive and in France
yeah,
somewhere,
yeah,
roaming around with Elvis.
yeah. So I I recently watched a few of his movies actually by happenstance. Well, one of them by happenstance. A couple of weeks ago, I watched Heat for the first time.
Ah, great movie.
Uh it is fantastic. Yeah, I don't even think we got to talk about it on the show because it's been a little erratic with the schedule. But man, oh man, I mean, he's great in it. The movie's fantastic. Like, I think one of my favorite things was just realizing how that movie was influencing so many other things, like including The Dark Knight, which is my favorite film, which I had heard people talk about,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, I was like, all right, I guess I'll take your word for it. I've never seen it, so but yeah, it's great. His character uh is not the main dude because I mean you have Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, but like he's probably like the third dude, right? He's like Al
It's
Pacino's
yeah.
right hand best friend, um, and and kind of the one that has a bit of a quick spoiler, more of a happier ending, not the best ending, but out of everyone else, um,
No, Natalie Portman ended up pretty. No, wait. Oh no. Well, never mind.
yeah. No, things get rough for everyone in that movie, Jeff.
I just,
He's
it's
probably the only one that at least gets away in
Yeah,
a sort of way, right? And realizes that his wife did love him because she gave him the heads up. So even though he has to leave her behind, he does get away. So
at
yeah,
least he
he's great in
knows.
that. Um, and then this week, because of the news of his passing, and also because the podcast that I listened to was covering it, I watched Tombstone.
Love Tombstone. Oh, so good.
I really enjoyed that movie. Um, Obviously, there's the classic line like "I'll be your Huckleberry," and like you've heard it and you've seen the gifs and the memes, and I finally have context for it. Uh, I had never seen it. I think it's a little long. Like there's some stuff in the beginning that they just show you so much of like the Wyatt, I was gonna say the Wyatts, the Herb family getting to the town and setting that up.
You gotta fall in love with all of them before they all leave.
It's Kurt Russell. I'm already in love with him, like from the beginning. Kurt Russell with a fantastic mustache.
Yeah, they
Uh
all have great
Sam
mustaches.
Elliott
They all had
with a
to they all had to
fantastic,
match
yeah.
Sam Elliott's energy.
I know they're like we have to when you're in a movie with Sam Elliott, you're like, damn, I gotta work up the mustache game. Like
Yeah.
need some of those
You're
those
you're putting
hormones.
Rogaine on there every
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
whatever you can. Horse hair growth,
It's
whatever.
Bill Paxton's the other brother, right? Morgan.
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
I mean, what an incredible cast. Here, let me click on this. We'll go back to the big list. Oh, here we go. Tombstone, which I will say maybe not the best name for a town if you want to make it prosper and grow like San Francisco. You know,
We're growing, Mr. Wyatt.
but yeah, you have Kurt Russell as White Earp, who I always believed was a fictional character. Uh, so I found out that that's not the case. Um,
The Old West is
and
just a myth.
that's right. Val Kilmer, of course, is Doc Holliday, the sickest man in the West, apparently. Goodness gracious. Like you see him, he's okay for like one scene, and the rest of the movie, he's
He's
just
just
like this pale, sweaty. He's either drunk or he's just really sick, or both at the same time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Sam Elliott is Virgil, who's like the main. I feel like he's the most out of the three brothers because he's the one that kind of stood up to everything first. Like I'm like, all right, Sam Elliott, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in for this. And then of course Bill Paxton, game over, man. And it was game over for him later on in the movie.
that's
So,
right. Oh,
but yeah,
come on,
great.
Burge. Oh,
That's right.
Burge.
Great cast. Looked like Wyatt Earp was also in the movie. Apparently, I guess he was still alive when that was shot. Or I don't. I mean, according to
No,
this,
I don't
maybe
know what
not.
that. No, Wyatt Earp is
No,
way dead.
it had to be
Uh,
like a relative, right?
yeah, maybe there's a.
Like a cousin or something. I will say, when Billy Zane showed up, I was like, "Oh my God, is Billy Zane the most beautiful man I've ever seen? What's happening?"
I need to go watch The
That took
Phantom
me.
again.
Yeah, I was well, because I guess he's pretty handsome in Titanic. Um, but yeah, that was incredible. So yeah, I love Tombstone. It was a very great. I mean, you saw I give it a 3.5, but that's pretty good for a movie from the 90s, I think, where the movie looks great. There's some great scenes. It was just a
No,
little
no
bit of
CGI, so that's a couple of stars off.
I know. I know. Not even Iron Man didn't even show up.
Yeah,
Oh
where's The
man.
Rock? Why is The Rock not in this?
I know. A baby.
This
Yeah, yeah.
all
A young Rock.
all movies need to either have The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black,
Vin
or Chris
Diesel
Pratt.
or Vin
Yeah,
Diesel. The Fiver. We call that
yeah,
the Five Guys. The
yeah,
Five
yeah,
Guys
yeah.
special. All right. Anything else on the list? I mean, there's a lot. We can talk about Top Gun. We can leave
I mean,
Batman till the
I
end.
feel like as a comic book,
Yeah,
heavy
we'll
show,
touch
we
on
should mention
Batman.
his Batman.
We'll touch on
Which
Batman at
I
the end.
enjoy. Like time has been way kind to that movie for me.
I think
Uh,
so. It's silly. It's crazy. Like I love hearing the stories of like Tommy Lee Jones just hating Jim Carrey
mhm.
because he was going full Riddler. But I think Val Kilmer always he was a very debonair Bruce Wayne. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah, he was definitely a charming Bruce Wayne.
Yes, yes.
So, and
Let's
then
see.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is the only other one. I'm just like, that's my go-to. I don't know. Have you seen that?
I if I've seen it, it's been a long time. I don't think so. It's not like fresh in my mind.
It's
I
him and
did.
Robert Downey Jr. as the two leads, but it's the same. I can't remember his name. The director that did the Lethal Weapon movies. He did Iron Man 3.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Let's see.
it's
Oh, Shane Black.
Shane Black. Yeah, so it's Shane
Yep, yep.
Black. So sharp, witty dialogue, and it's a
Oh,
murder mystery kind of thing.
Michelle Monaghan's in this.
Yeah,
She's in
Michelle
the
Monaghan's in it.
White Lotus. Very cool. Okay, this seems interesting. Sex murder mystery. Welcome to the party. All
Yeah,
right,
it's a great movie.
here. I'll add it to the watch list now. Top Gun. Have you seen the Top Guns?
I've seen the Top Guns. He's getting the Top
Okay.
Guns.
Who's cooler than Iceman in that movie?
Well, it was Goose until he died.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say Goose was as cool as Iceman. Even Tom
No,
Cruise's character is not as cool as Iceman.
no,
He's
Iceman is the
definitely a
coolest.
protagonist, and he gets the girl, and all that. But man, oh man! And then, of course, all this time later, and knowing that he had been having health issues, seeing him in Top Gun Maverick was a treat. Um,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Have you
uh,
seen Willow? His other big.
oh yes,
Yeah.
I watched Willow with some friends online. Like I think this was like amidst the COVID and everybody trying to do stuff online with their friends or whatever. I had never seen it. It is a crazy movie. But Val Kilmer is great in it. Very, very, very fun. I think this was maybe when they announced the Willow show was gonna be made. Was the
Oh,
sequel?
okay, yeah, 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 yeah,
So we're like, I guess we should check it out. Um,
yeah,
uh, Prince of Egypt. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I mean, I didn't realize he was Moses until I started looking through his letterbox.
yeah. I don't.
Uh,
I mean, I think I saw it when it came out, maybe, but I don't. I don't remember nothing about it.
well, you know the story though. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who does he play in Alexander? That's Alexander. Have you seen Alexander? The
I've
Colin
seen
Farrell.
Alexander. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Who is he in the
Uh,
Love Guru? Oh, he's Val Kilmer. Okay, he just. Oh, I this
I've
feels
never
like
seen
something.
this. I
Go
would say
ahead.
I've never seen The Saint, and I probably feel like I should watch
Oh,
that.
okay. I love The Saint. It is one of those movies like you mentioned that was just on HBO all the time when I was growing up. So like I
Mhm.
watched it all the time. Um, it's very, very cool. I don't even want to tell you let me see what do they say the premise is here. Simon Templar, great name, fantastic name, is a thief for hire whose latest job is to steal a secret process for cold fusion, and this puts him at odds with a traitor bent on toppling the Russian government, as well as the woman who holds the secret. Uh,
Ooh,
yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I haven't seen it in a long time. I will say that, but I mean Elizabeth Shue's in this.
that'd be fun
Star
for
of
me
The
to watch The
Boys.
Saint.
If you're well, I guess not anymore, but she was in The Boys. Um, I might rewatch that this weekend. Hold on, because I don't have it rated here, so let's follow us on Letterbox. Although Jeff, did you ever get a Letterbox? Did we ever make you get
I'm
one?
working. You're the not yet. It's coming.
Okay, not yet. Because
Not
look,
yet.
yeah, 4% of Val Kilmer movies. I feel like I've seen more. Like I've seen the Top Guns, Prince of Egypt. I just don't have it rated. Of course, Batman Forever, which I think him and Nicole Kidman was a lot of fun to watch on the screen. Like I really like his
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne. I think he was a really, really good Bruce Wayne. Um, I just don't remember a lot of him as a Batman, except for that because a lot of the movie he's out of the suit, right? Even when he goes to do some digging on Nigma.
yeah. He's. It definitely relies way more heavily on his detectiving, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah,
I've seen MacGruber, but I don't have it rated. I don't even remember his part of it. Yeah, it gets real after that. It gets real. I feel like the Saints should be higher. I need to go rate it, so maybe it'd go up a little bit.
He's good in
But
Real
I think that,
Genius. I haven't seen Real Genius in forever either.
I don't think I've ever. I mean, I might have seen that movie, but yeah, maybe it's been forever as well. There's some really weird. What this is?
I've seen
Twixt.
Pollock, but I don't remember Pollock. I don't know what Twixt is. I've
Okay.
seen
Yeah.
some of these movies I've seen. I'm just like, I have no recollection. I'm like, I know I've seen them, but I'm just.
Oh, Ghost in the Darkness feels like a movie that I've been on a kick of like just those 90s movies.
They're hard to
Um,
find sometimes.
yeah,
That's when I get frustrated because I'm just like, oh, where is this streaming? And it's only for rent. And I'm like,
yep.
listen, you guys have got to get your act together.
Don't make me take to the high seas to watch an old movie.
I'm telling you. Or I'm
Um,
just go back to physical media. I'm just like, you know what? They're right. Everybody who's on any kind of social media who's just like, this is my 1400 DVD collection. I'm like, no, you got it
you
right. You figured it out because they can never
yeah,
take that from you.
yep, yep. You nailed it, and I messed up by not buying 14,000 DVDs.
That's right. See,
What was the
you
other
can
thing I
watch
wanted?
anything at any time.
There was one more I wanted to touch on here, but I kind of lost the thread. I haven't seen True Romance, which I feel like I should.
I have not seen True Romance. I feel like I should.
So, but at least I've seen the top three. I mean, this the top four in his on Letterbox here. So, well, these are by popularity. Let's see by average rating, highest first. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Heat makes sense. Heat's a banger. That's not a bad.
Lost
That's not a bad
Soul.
list. I like that there's these other like behind the scenes things that are rated so high. I wish you could filter just by like actual movies and then
Apparently,
uh
he was in the last episode of Psych as well.
oh really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw that pop up a bunch this week. And I guess
okay.
I really like Psych. I mean, there were a lot of like running gags in that show. So maybe there was one on Val Kilmer that I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was like apparently a big thing that it was just like one of those quick little cameo kind of things.
I am
Uh,
gonna add Bad Lieutenant because it's a Nick Cage movie to my watch
that's a
list.
bad lieutenant. I can't do
So
Nick Cage.
all right. Anything else on Val Kilmer before we move on? I haven't seen Deja Vu, and I feel like I shouldn't. This one feels
I
like it was
think
a bad one.
I never saw the Val movie, like where he like it was about him being sick, and I don't know if I'd ever watch that now. It'd be,
This one?
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man. I just sometimes don't. Yeah, I don't like digging into some of that stuff just because it
Just I
can
don't
get
need to get
real,
depressed.
very real.
Listen, real life is real enough. I don't need it.
Yeah, right. Of course, Jay and Silent Bob reboot. He was Bluntman in it, which makes sense because he
Oh,
was
that's
Batman.
right. That's right.
And then, have you ever seen The Island of Dr. Moreau? I wish Clay and Josh were here because I feel like one of them have seen it.
I saw it when it came out, and I don't
Oh,
remember
you
it
did?
at all. Yeah,
Um,
because it was
I,
one
I,
of it's what's his name is in it? Val Kilmer.
Superman's
No,
dad. Yeah, but Marlon Brando is the doctor, right?
Brando. Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard the How Did This Get Made episode on it, and it's like it just sounds like a bonkers movie that I kind of want to watch just because I feel like it's so bad. Let's see if there's so many. Uh, the granddaddy of all subhuman flicks. I should have watched this. Felt like 100 hours. See, like it's just these kind of reviews. That's what's driving me to maybe kind of want to watch it.
you should
'Cause
watch.
I'm like,
So you should make an afternoon where you watch that because that's how the Island of Dr. Moreau is about a scientist who kind of creates this animal human
yeah,
hybrid kind of creatures. So I feel like you should watch that. Like you should make an afternoon out of watching movies with people in prosthetics that are animal prosthetics. So like that,
okay.
and maybe an American Werewolf in London. What was that? There's that. Oh gosh, there's that one kangaroo ninja movie. Secret Warriors of something. I'm gonna figure it out before the end of the show
Okay.
because we have to look this up.
Because I have
Uh,
no clue what you're
uh,
talking about, Jeff.
if I don't know if we have anybody in the chat that knows what I'm talking about, gosh, I'm gonna look it up before we get out of here.
You're gonna feel silly when you remember. It's not Kangaroo Jack, though, right? That's the only kangaroo
It's
movie
not
I
it's
know.
not Kangaroo Jack.
Okay. All right. Well, If you're watching this live or later on, let us know your favorite Val Kilmer performances.
Warriors of Virtue from 1997.
Warriors of Virtue. That doesn't sound like a real movie. You're making shit up
Oh, it
now.
is. It is a real
Oh my!
movie. It is from this timeline. And
What did you type
it's
in Google? Fighting kangaroo movie?
yeah, kangaroo fighting movie, kangaroo kung fu movie, kangaroo karate movie. But Warriors of
Uh,
Virtue is what it is
is this
called.
really about a kangaroo? There's no kangaroos on the poster or anything.
What's on the poster?
I don't like. Here, I'll show you. I guess. Let me share the screen again. Val Kilmer. Leonard Kim in the chat. The only Val Kilmer anything I've seen is Top Gun Maverick. Well, we have now gone through some examples, Leonard Kim. So hopefully, I would say maybe start with either Heat or Tombstone. Although I don't know, Leonard Kim. I don't want you. I don't want you to then tell me that you hate those movies. So maybe start with Batman. Start with Batman.
Batman.
This is Warriors of Virtue, the poster. Oh, I guess it is
Okay,
like a little thing.
yeah. So the blurry character in the middle is a kangaroo, but I don't know why they chose this picture.
There's
Maybe
nothing
because
about a kangaroo in the description of this, though. Oh yeah, 5 humanoid kangaroos. Wait, there's more than one kangaroo? Is
there's a
this like
bunch of
Ninja Turtles but
it's sort of like
kangaroos?
Ninja Turtles, but with kangaroos.
Okay, okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, that's funny. The producer, like you've seen those TikToks of the guys making movies?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I want to make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but not Teenage Mutant or Turtles. Instead, I want adult magic ninja kangaroos. All right, maybe. Well, let's see. I'm gonna put this on the watch list. You can watch it on Amazon Prime now.
Oh, see, it's
Um,
not even something you have to hunt down that hard.
all right, it's on the watch list. Come back for our special show. Oh, here. Come back for our special show on Warriors of Virtue. What a name!
In the Island of Dr. Moreau episode.
Oh God. Also, these guys are like. I guess I should watch TMNT. Since that was also dudes with not prosthetics, but
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that these
yeah.
guys like in
Costume.
kangaroo suits. What's going on?
Yeah, they're in kangaroo suits. They're in giant. I saw this in the theater. I don't think I've seen it since. It's what you expect from a movie like this.
Yeah.
It's like a little kid. It's sort of like it's it's a little more never-ending story than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in that the kid gets transported from his normal everyday life to a magical world that has the fighting ninja kangaroos that he has to help them out. Some whatever.
You know, I don't remember back in the day, like when I was growing up, if we wanted to watch a movie, we would just go to the theater and see what was playing. Like there was no, like maybe we saw a commercial for something, especially for the bigger movies, but other than that, like we didn't know what was coming. I don't remember until maybe when I hit like high school, like the 2000s, early 2000s. I was like, oh, these are specific movies that are coming out that I want to watch. Right before that, it was just like, I mean, first of all, I didn't. It was more like my parents taking us to the movies, but yeah, like I don't remember like, oh, I saw a trailer for this. Like, can you take me? It was more like today's movie day. Let's see what's playing.
Let's go see what's going. I would pay attention in the newspapers and see what was playing in the newspapers. And I think I would constantly call MovirFone just to like listen. Maybe I was just
Did you
bored as a
charge for
kid.
that?
I
Did
don't
you
think
have like
so.
a phone bill for like $10,000 at the end of the month, or your mom's like, "Hey, what the hell?"
I don't remember them charging for MovirFone.
Okay, how did they make money?
I think it was through ads in the thing,
Like
because you had to listen to like ads. I think, or
that?
maybe I called the theater directly or something. I don't know. I do remember calling to get show times,
That
but
feels
I don't
bad.
ever remember having to pay for it.
Yeah, no, I guess it would not be as lucrative. Uh, People would not call.
Yeah, I just wouldn't call. I would just show up. I would just be like, well, let's see what's going on.
Stupid
But
Google.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I don't want to know how movies make money. I want to know Phone make money through advertising and facilitating ticket sales. Oh, I guess you could just buy tickets on while you were calling, and
Oh,
they would get a
okay.
cut of
Yeah.
that. Maybe
We
that
get
makes more
service
sense.
charge.
Yeah. Can you imagine sitting? I'll tell you what you want to know, except you have to sit through this 2-minute audio ad because it's like you're on the phone, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
maybe they just get your phone number added to some database and then they start selling that off too.
I could be it. I seem to remember. So I remember you would call, and then it would play like the audio version of a trailer for a movie. But then I think you could, after like listening to it, almost like YouTube, like after listening to it for a few seconds, you could press a number and it would just skip over to the next, whatever
In
you
a
wanted.
world.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Let's find that out. If you ever call, I wonder if people have probably
Broken
recorded.
Arrow starring.
That's right. All right. Let's move on to current stuff and one of those things. So I've already talked about Tombstone, but let's talk about a few more things. And we could just go one and one since we have it looks like we have a few, and then we'll get to comics, and then we'll figure that out, Jeff. Maybe you don't unload all your
Well, you
comics.
you already
Oh
said
what?
1 and 1, so I don't know. I don't know if I can hold to the 1 and 1. We'll see how many rules I can break this
Yeah. I should stop
this
putting rules before we start talking.
right.
Uh, so, but
Uh
uh, go for it. What
one
did you see?
one thing I watched this week was let me pull up my notes here again. Because I watched the new Shonda Rhimes show on Netflix, the first episode of whatever that's called. The menu, where is it? Hold on. Not the menu.
On the Rhines?
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, I can't even pull it up.
Yeah. Is that the residence?
The Residence, thank you.
Yeah, you have
Yes.
it on the notes. Oh, you're not looking at the doc. I see.
Yeah. I was trying to pull it up on
It,
my phone and I was just like,
it's the one
where did
about
I
the
go?
reporter in the White House, right?
So she's a detective.
Detective in the White
She
House.
yeah, it's very Murder She Wrote, like an updated kind of Murder She Wrote, kind of like a cozy murder mystery that the
Yeah,
murder takes place in the White House. The Washington police show up because it's in their jurisdiction, and they have this detective on retainer who helps them with some of their high profile uh, murder cases. And
yeah.
so there's all these people in the White House who are trying to protect the president, and they're trying to there's a Kylie Minogue concert happening in the White House at the time. So like they brought her in
Okay.
for a special performance, and so there's all these people in the White House, and the detective wants to seal the White House, and there are people like, no, we can't let this get out. But it's very charming, it's very funny, it's very lighthearted, in that kind of vein of like those old like quirky detective comes in and tries to solve the thing.
Yeah, I saw Netflix just throw stuff at you when you log on, and that
Mm,
was one of the ones that it was on this week. And it gave me like you were talking about Psych earlier, like it gave me some of
yeah,
those vibes where it's like, oh, it's kind of goofy, but like there's still gonna be like a little bit of a mystery and twists and turns. Now, my question is, do you think we are getting so many things based on the White House just because of the way politics has gone on for the last, whatever 10 years? Somebody built like multiple White House sets, so they're like, just we gotta use them. Like
we
we
got to
should
use all these White House sets.
like every
I
studio
do
has their own
wonder.
White House set now. So they're like, we might as well do stuff because there's like so many things that are like where you can see the Oval Office and the White House and stuff, right? In shows recently.
I feel like that Hollywood should have like a mini White House, like replica, just permanently made,
Yeah.
and then you can just like rent it out, and change it up, and like depending on how you need it to be.
White
And
House
you're like,
West.
yeah, White House West. Uh,
Just in case something happens to the other one, we have a backup. Leonard Kimmel of The Residence. Great. Great,
yeah,
great.
I need to
I
finish
do
watching. It is like it's one of those things where they put it all up at once, and I'm not a
uh
bit. I haven't binged any more than just the first episode. Like I've only seen the first episode, but I'm definitely gonna go back and watch the rest of it.
I want to watch that adolescent show that people are talking about on Netflix. There's like 4 episodes, and it's supposedly like one shot. The whole
I don't
thing is
know.
one shot, and it's like this mystery of like a kid or an adolescent, I guess, killed someone. Maybe I don't know.
Huh.
People are pretty hype, and Netflix was pushing it pretty hard when it came out. But the thing is, Netflix doesn't push out the good stuff. Netflix pushes the new stuff for like a week, and then it's got a new thing that it's pushing the week after, right? So
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I need. I need. I don't. Yeah. Don't get me on a Netflix soapbox. You know how I feel about Netflix.
I do appreciate their top 10 things that they do have. If you scroll down, you can see what's trending. I love
Yeah.
seeing the I love seeing old movies that are just new to Netflix are like just dethroning their big stuff, like their big
Just
budget stuff.
all the old movie, all the licensed movies are just
Yeah.
people would rather watch that stuff than
So,
whatever Netflix
uh,
spent $500 million on.
hey, Craven was number one for a little while. So I mean, you know, we still got to do. I still got to figure out how to get you guys to watch Craven. And we can talk about it.
Maybe he'll pop up in the new Spider-Man movie, and then I'll have to watch it.
Maybe. All right. Let me talk about. So after the show last week, our second show after our Sunday show, because last week we had two shows, so Saturday and Sunday. We
That's right.
split them up.
Edison.
I went to the movies to watch the new Jason Statham, David Ayer film, A Working Man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not a
Um,
beekeeper.
not a beekeeper. I will say this movie is no beekeeper. This one's not as good, which is
Oh
weird because
no.
it's the same people. Uh, this one wants to be a little bit more serious. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. David Ayer has a way of making movies where it's like, I'm gonna make one really fun one and then one that's not as much fun. Uh, so it's unfortunate. I still enjoyed it. It's it's still full of like really cool Jason Statham level violence and stunts and all that. Um, and some surprising over the top performances when it comes to the outfits of this Russian mob. Uh, but it is not as fun as the Beekeeper, unfortunately.
Oh.
So yeah, maybe this will be a wait till it gets to. I go to the movies so you guys can just wait for things to hit streaming. Maybe I'm the problem.
You are the
Um,
problem.
so all
Did you
right,
go
well,
see Death of a Unicorn yet?
not yet. I'm thinking maybe
Okay.
do it this weekend because the only thing out this weekend is Minecraft, and I've already seen the Superman sneak peek, so I don't need to go watch Minecraft anymore. I I was really just gonna burn one of my A-list tickets to go
Just
watch the sneak peek and then
for
leave,
them.
and then maybe check out Death of the Unicorn. But it is playing now in my local theater, so
Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
I'm gonna go ahead and miss that Minecraft movie as well.
I'm
I know
sorry. I do love
I
Jack
know
Black, but man,
I
he's
know
asking a lot.
Josh earlier in the week on our private Discord had floated the idea that we talk a little bit about the Minecraft movie and make fun of it a bit, but I find it is doing the most offensive thing because when I went to go look and see how people are giving it, ranking it, or rating it, or giving it reviews and whatnot, a lot of it is just like it's not the worst thing. It is far from the best thing. It is just kind of your standard, straight down the middle, boring.
Hmm.
Like you know what's coming, but it is a lot of colors on the screen, so it should keep your kids entertained, kind of
That
thing.
I will not blame a movie for that. I do hate that it's happening, but I can't blame a movie for just existing for a specific audience, right?
Yeah,
I've never played Minecraft. I'm not the audience for that. They try to pull in an audience like myself or you or other people by
yeah.
casting, Jack Black and Jason Momoa, and like trying to put all the people that you recognize from other things in there. Um, but yeah, no, it just doesn't grab my attention. I don't know anything about the lore. Or I like maybe if I played the game, I'd be like, oh, let's go at least check it out, right?
It
So
it feels very so when I was looking over those things and I was thinking about like it reminded me of I wonder if this is how my parents felt like whenever they saw me watching like He-Man or GI Joe or like those 80s cartoons where they're like, no, all you're doing is you don't understand it because you're a little kid, but all you're doing is watching a giant commercial. because then we have to go out and buy these toys kind of thing. And that's how I
Yeah.
feel, like you're just watching a soulless, like that. My parents were like, you're just watching this soulless commercial that you think is good, but it's not, because it's just trying to sell you stuff. And that's how I feel about this Minecraft movie. And I'm like, oh, it made me understand my parents a little bit more. But that, I don't know. That's I was like, it was kind of a harsh realization, because I was just like, but I love He-Man, but He-Man is great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not that great.
So, as you guys get older, see all the things that your parents did for you, like sitting at those boring movies for them
Yep.
for,
Yep. Exactly.
2 hours. At least movies weren't as long back then, I'll say that.
That's
Uh
true.
so, because this one, I feel like Minecraft's probably like 2 hours long for no reason. Um so all right. Well, speaking of big budget movies, I didn't talk about the last week. I watched the on Apple TV new show from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, TheStudio.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the premise for it is that Seth Rogen becomes the head of this like studio. It's one of the smaller studios, but it's still like a legacy studio. And obviously, he's got to deal with all this stuff. So it's like kind of, it feels like their way of letting out all the secrets through this show, like all the
It
stuff that
feels a
they
little
keep
like,
would
what was the other show that was like they were making the big superhero movie?
the franchise.
The franchise. It
Yeah.
feels a little like the franchise in that they're like, we're kind of roasting all the things that we do in our own.
But the cool thing about this one is like, I mean, you have great performances like Catherine Hahn's in this, um, Seth Rogen, like I said, what's her name from Schitt's Creek and a whole lot of other stuff. The mom,
Oh yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
uh, but it's shot really well. It looks great. Interestingly enough, talking about yeah, Leonard Kim's also seen it. Catherine Hahn definitely a standout. She plays the head of marketing for the studio, so she just brings that energy. Um, a little reminiscent of her character in Step Brothers, of just like very much in your face about stuff. Um, but in the first episode, as Seth Rogen becomes the head of the studio, the first thing he's got to do is make a Kool-Aid movie.
So I saw
So
somebody compare the Kool-Aid movie to the Minecraft movie. They were like, "Oh, it's the
yeah, so
same
like
kind of thing."
it's definitely the same vibe, same energy, same like just like commenting on that stuff. It's really well done. They're doing some interesting things, which is the visual aspect of the show. And you get a lot of really cool cameos all throughout
Mhm.
because you get real life people. Like it's almost as if it was trying to say like this is a real studio, but like
Yeah, yeah,
so that
yeah.
was really interesting. Like in the first episode, slight spoiler, you see Martin Scorsese in it, which is really cool. Later on, like I think they've dropped 3 episodes. You see Ron Howard and Anthony Mackie, so like real people that are making movies, and then they make like as part of that, you get to see them. They make like fake movies for the show to kind of
Mhm.
intercut in the show. Um, so I do wonder if a movie could come out of that. Like just like the idea is so good, and it's like a fun way to pitch it, right? Like here's a little fake scene from this fake movie, but
So the
maybe
movies, I like
yeah,
shows that do that. So like the old Larry Sanders Show used to kind of mix reality with whatever fiction they were doing.
yeah.
Uh, and then uh, gosh, I can't remember the guy that wrote Seinfeld, and he had a show on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Also,
Oh,
kind of
David,
mixed
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
In fact, Ted Danson, like there was a season on Curb where Ted Danson was getting a divorce from Mary Steenburgen, and they wrote it in the show, and people were asking him in real life if they were really getting a divorce, and he was like, "No, that's just we wouldn't announce our divorce on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, that's just for the
Like six
show."
months to a year later, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
So, yeah, but I like it. I do like it when shows kind of blend the reality and uh,
Yeah.
like fiction of the show.
Well, yeah, the studio is great. It looks fantastic and it's really funny. And it's only like 30-minute episodes. They're short, so it's like
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a comedy, but it's shot in the style of a more dramatic like performance. I don't know.
Drama. And-
It,
Yeah.
they love making those things where it's like, yeah, kind of in the middle of both things. So Yep.
It's like a good
All right.
sports night episode.
Yeah, something like that. What else, Jeff? What else did you watch?
I watched the Hot Ones episode with MickFoley. I know we are the two wrestling fans of the show, so I thought
I
I'd bring it
know.
up here. Now or never. Mick Foley's always a really good interviewee. He's really open with everything he says.
Was this
You know,
before his car accident or after? Do you know?
oh, when did he get in a car accident? I don't know.
He's fine. He's completely fine. But he posted a picture with a car that was like crumpled to bits behind them.
Oh,
Um, so maybe this is before. What is he promoting?
he didn't really have anything to promote. He was
Oh,
because at the end, they're always like this camera, this camera, this camera, telling people what they're
yeah.
doing, and he was just like, I'm just living, I think he has like a podcast maybe, or I don't know. He was just like, he's doing signings. He's like, just go to my website, see where I'm doing signings. I know
That's
he
like
was
Foley.
like here in town like 2 days ago or whatever,
Oh,
doing a
really?
signing at Dallas Vintage Toys. Yeah.
I'm
Um,
I've met him before at one of the Fan Expo shows. They had
mhm.
wrestlers. I met him, Trish Stratus, Beth Phoenix. Um, so that was really cool. So yeah, and I met Alexa Bliss, and I missed Seth Rollins. Unfortunately, at the big convention, but yeah, that's cool. I'm excited to maybe go to Starcade in the summer.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah,
I don't think I'm going to the AEW show itself, but I would love to go to Starcade. Because there's gonna be just so many people there. A lot of former WWE people that are recent that I'm sure they're gonna be there. It's gonna be a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
big
yeah.
weekend for wrestling here. So
Fun. Wrestling is so fun. Anyway, it's
yeah,
it's fun because he and Sean is such a good interviewee. He talk about this stuff in Japan and just some of it is stuff that he's already covered. I read his book years ago.
which
His
one?
mankind, the first one, the Mankind book. Uh, uh, but yeah, he kind of gets into all his little stuff, and it's always funny for me to watch like wrestlers or like big athletes or whatever try to take on, because it's a different kind of challenge than what macho guys are used to, and it's fun to just see them try to like Shaq's episode where he tries to just power through the spices, and it's just not something you really can power through or spices.
Yeah.
So
Now
yeah, it's entertaining.
I know that it's very likely that Shawn Michaels would be the one inducting Triple H into the Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
That just makes sense. But I would love it if it was Mick Foley. Because the I feel like they were like the opposites for such a long time. Like just what WWE was showing at the time, like they were on such opposite ends, but whenever they collided in like a feud,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
great. It was just freaking great. And Mick Foley, man, I don't know what the industry looks like without a Mick Foley.
Oh, it's
Um,
completely different. Like it's
yeah.
not. Yeah,
So
he's so great.
so he's great.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
a good.
But it's
What
probably gonna be
else?
Shawn Michaels. Like that just makes sense.
Unless it's Stephanie, his wife.
She's busy doing her new talk show on Disney Plus or ESPN or whatever one of those.
Oh, that's right. I forget about that. I
Talking with
don't. You know
Steph
what?
or
Ever since
something like that.
again, since SmackDown has moved to the USA Network, I haven't really been watching SmackDown. I just watch highlights when they pop up on whatever I'm
Ooh,
watching. And then I did see the Charlotte Tiffany Stratus kind of
God,
meltdown.
what a I I hated that segment.
I
Uh
feel bad for Charlotte.
I feel bad for
Be-
both. Like they're just kind of being put in a bad position
yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
like if and I know why you feel bad for Charlotte. I understand completely. Like feels like Tiffany went below the belt. But I feel like the week prior, like Charlotte really buried her. So like, what are you supposed to do? Like to try to get out of the
Well, that's
hole?
why. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, Charlotte's Charlotte is a natural heel because she can't
Yeah,
help herself. Like she is not. I don't. I wonder what she's like in real life because I'm like, there's got to be like, she can't be that like a she comes across as such a, like how she came across last night, as this kind of whiny nepo kid.
Yeah.
But then like in the ring, I'm like, but you can't deny the fact that she's talented in the ring,
Right.
like that
Right.
she does the flips, she does everything, she's careful with other wrestlers, she's a good, like for the profession itself, like she's a good
Yeah.
wrestler, I think. I just, I think she needs somebody, one of the writers, to work with her to like hone in on that character that she could develop, because I think you can be like a decent, like you can be a legacy heel
Mm-hmm.
and be fine, like Randy Orton, or like he's a face right now, but he's been heels and back. You can do it. You can do it. Uh, I just I don't know. I just feel like her personality is just not like her, Charlotte Flair's actual personality. Because the way she
Yeah.
reacted to what Tiffany did, I was just like, oh no, you're playing this wrong. You're playing this wrong, and you are your own worst enemy right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Very, as the kids say, cringe. Unfortunately.
Yeah, very cringe.
Uh, did you?
But the audience doesn't give her much room to like
For
maneuver
sure. No,
either.
they will jump
Yeah,
on anything, especially Chicago.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
man, Chicago is a tough environment. They,
Because I feel
uh,
like she tried to come back as a face, and
oh
she was
yeah,
like coming in. She was like, oh, and the people just booed her. And I'm just like, oh, and so yeah, they gave her no choice
and they
but
had
to
to
be
pivot.
heel,
They had to
and then
pivot.
they
Yeah.
had to pivot, and now she's just
I bet.
whatever. So
I bet. Unfortunately, that's what they had to do because, like, she probably wanted to come back as a face, and they're
yeah,
like, "All right, we'll let you try it, but but if it doesn't work, we're gonna have to pivot."
yeah,
Especially because Tiffany Stratton is just like such a face too. Like, I mean,
yeah,
she
yeah.
could be a
Everybody loves
heel, but
Tiffany.
yeah, I didn't like that segment at all. It was. Um, but I don't know. Since we're talking wrestling, well, before I move to the next thing, did you watch the recap of the last segment of revealing the favor that CM Punk wants
Uh-uh.
from
I
Paul
missed it.
Heyman? Oh, it's very
No, I
good.
missed it.
I don't want to spoil it for you. Go check it out.
Okay.
It should be on YouTube. They're pretty good. You can pretty much watch SmackDown on YouTube like the day after. Like an hour in delay. You just don't get like full
Yeah,
matches or anything like that, but the
yeah, yeah,
segments they
yeah.
upload pretty much everything.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
check it
last
out.
week they uploaded the full signing of CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I
Um,
did see that. I did see that. So
so yeah, so go check it out. I don't want to spoil it. Also, very sad news, which I keep hoping that WWE is working me, but Kevin Owens said he's got to go have neck surgery and
I
doesn't
saw
know.
that, and I haven't. Well, I saw a YouTube video with like on the What Culture saying that he was injured. I haven't watched the
Yeah,
video yet, but yeah, that bums me out if that's true.
I hope it's so. The only thing that gives me like the smallest bit of hope is that Randy Orton came out afterwards, like after he made that announcement,
Mm.
because Randy doesn't have an opponent now. And I'm like, is this to kind of set up the next thing, or is this to like,
Keep it.
you're gonna Mark Henry me, and this isn't
Yeah, yeah,
real.
yeah.
But because Kevin Owens so good at working too, like I never know. But as he was leaving, a fan yelled something, and he turned back and confronted, and they cut away from it. But then again, like I said, is that Kevin Owens just working Chicago, or is that like
Well, they also did the Kevin Owens Cody fight. That was like when they planted that, and they had just a fan. I don't know if it was a real fan or a WWE plant filming, so that they leaked
right, right,
they
right, right?
leaked that out. So it could be this could be the second Kevin Owens work.
I would. I also feel like they wouldn't want to do like kayfabe injury angle like this, but I don't know. You never know anymore. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as a fan and as somebody that just loves Kevin Owens, I hope that this is all a work and that he's gonna ambush Randy. Although Randy did RKO Nick Aldis, so like is Nick Aldis gonna be in the ring? Like what's going on? If he could take an RKO, he could probably take a few more bumps. You
This
know?
is their new going into WrestleMania strategies, just to have as many options open as possible,
Yeah.
and that's
Well,
why every match is like a three-way match now.
the funny thing is, I was on my buddy's I read comic books podcast. We pre-recorded an episode that's gonna come out later, and as part of the after stuff for their Patreon, we talked about WrestleMania predictions, and one of them was that match. So now that's not. I don't even know if that's gonna be. Or I have to put a little
Oh no.
disclaimer. This was recorded before or whatever. So, all
When
right,
is WrestleMania?
2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. So
Okay.
not this weekend. The weekend after. Big moves. Big moves there. Oh, I guess the weekend of that. Maybe I think it's the same weekend of the show that you were talking about earlier. The Dallas Comic Show.
Oh, Dallas Comic Show. Oh,
I
okay.
think so. I gotta check all those dates. Busy weekends coming in April.
I gotta get to getting my beauty sleep early.
That's right. All right. The last thing I watched was the new. So I was looking for. I told you I was looking for Smile, and I realized that I accidentally still had Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky for me, Tom Hardy just dropped a new show with Guy Ritchie called Mobland. Um, Pierce Brosnan's in it. Helen Mirren's in it. It's really good. He's like a fixer for this mob family in the UK, London, whatever. I don't know. It's just really good. The my only trepidation about it is that I have to watch it with the captions on because they are all. No one is even trying to hide their original accent, or they're leaning more into it. I don't know if they're leaning more into it because it's supposed to be a show set over there. But man, oh man, they are.
They're just like,
Those
let
Guy
it let
Ritchie shows.
fly.
Guy
Yeah,
Ritchie
yeah,
in the
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is that movie? Snatched, where you
Snatched.
can't understand anyone, even Brad Pitt, who's not doing an American accent. Uh, yeah, but Mobland's really good. Seeing Tom Hardy as this fixer. I saw Buddy talk about like this was kind of a spin of a Ray Donovan or like a play on that
Yeah,
same thing. Because it is Showtime, Paramount, it's all the same kind of thing. So
yeah.
yeah, so Mobland, go check it out. I've only seen the first episode, but I really enjoyed it. Like seeing Tom Hardy try to fix all these issues because it's not just like gang stuff. It's like, oh, your kids did some dumb shit and now they're in trouble with the police or whatever, and now he's got to also go fix that, those type of things. So, and it's Tom
Nice.
Hardy, so it's like this quiet intensity of like, look, we can play this the nice way, or I can
I
do
was
Tom Hardy.
born in the dark.
Exactly. Like you don't want to see me at my Bane,
Yeah.
uh, who I also could not understand. So it all works out the same.
It all works out.
So, all right. What else did you watch, Jeff?
I only watched one other thing that I can really remember is just one day while sitting here at work, I found old episodes of MXC on one of the streaming services. MXC, I think it's a Japanese game show. It's sort of like it's like a stunt show. Stunt show's not really. I can't remember, but you have all these contestants and they try to compete through this obstacle course, wackiness thing that
So
happens.
it stands
Uh,
for Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
yes, and then they brought it over to the States, but it's dubbed in English, and it's really silly. But it did make while watching it, I was like, oh, they should do this on Netflix for their
Well,
God, my brain has gone nuts.
didn't
What's
they have like the floor is lava or something?
the floor is lava, but no, what's their that's the big show where the people have
Oh,
to kill
Squid
each
Games.
other. Yeah, Squid Games. I need a show version of this, but like with through the Squid Games. So you just take whatever they've shot for Squid Games and then just put like silly music behind it
Oh,
and with some American like overdubbing, just like even though Squid Games is in English or whatever, but or you can watch it. In my
okay.
mind, this is perfect. This makes perfect sense.
So this show is a re-edit of the Japanese game show Takeshi's Castle, which
Yes.
originally aired in 86 to 89. I was wondering why, if this is a show from the 2000s, why it looks like everyone is in like 70s and 80s fashion. And I know it's a
Yeah,
different country, but even just
it's
looking at the film,
basically it's basically the same concept that they did where they took the anime from
it is like
Japan and
Power
then
Rangers,
redone it
but
and
yeah,
turned
this
it
is
into
like
Power
the Power
Rangers. Yeah.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Um,
Or Robotech or
which is
something. It's
crazy
like
to think
that,
about.
but
It's crazy to think about that before the global landscape it is now. We just re-edited other people's shows to fit the American audience, where like now is like people are full on watching just K-dramas. Like they are just watching
Yeah.
it's like stuff like that. So it's very interesting. Um, one fun fact is that ABC's Wipeout, the John Cena show, got got sued by MXC for being a blatant copy of Takeshi's Castle in most Extreme Elimination Challenge. So that's really funny. Like I don't know who won. It doesn't say who won, but that's pretty funny.
They
That
probably settled out of court.
it's a silly show. So many
If
episodes.
you ever get a chance, you should watch a couple episodes. Yeah. I mean,
I think
it's a
I've seen it.
background
I
show
used
for
to. I
sure.
mean, it was on Spike TV. I'm sure I watched it growing up.
Yeah.
If it was
Yeah,
on
it's been on
Spike, it was
cable.
on my TV. That's where I watched Ninja Warrior and all that stuff. And it was the
It's
original Ninja
exactly
Warrior.
so. Yeah, it's like the old Ninja Warrior where they had the American dub over version, and you
Yeah,
knew that they were because you could hear the Japanese version underneath the American dub.
yeah. That
Uh,
because they wanted the sound from the crowd and the ambient sounds too, right? So
yeah. So it's very much like the old Ninja Warrior show, but just
I'm glad
funny.
I'm glad they didn't. You know when they would cut to the host talking about stuff.
Uh,
I'm glad they didn't
yeah.
do the same thing with Power Rangers where they just replaced the host with like American host or something like that. That would have been weird. Like they just dubbed their audio. So all right, let's move on to comic books. I don't think we have a lot this week. I will say, we were talking before the show. We didn't. Last week was so massive that I don't think there was enough room for this week on a lot of stuff. But I'm gonna go. We're gonna go 1-1, Jeff. So I'll start
1-1.
so I can at least get one in before you pivot to not listening to the rules. I'm gonna start
My first
with
comic is
you. Let me drop you. I'm gonna start with Absolute Green Lantern. This came out this week. I picked up these two covers.
I got the A cover.
Yeah. This is by Al Ewing and Joni Lindsay on art. I really like this. I am so in love with all the Absolute stuff. And this one was so cool. There's one gripe I have about it, and that's just about the not inclusion of one of my favorite lanterns. Because everyone, like, it feels like everyone else is in this thing, even somebody that only gets name checked. But I love this cosmic horror feel that Al Ewing is kind of bringing to this book.
Yeah. I like it. I'm not a big fan of the art. Sorry.
Okay. General Lindsay, yeah. It's definitely very stylized, which feels a little bit not in tone with everything, but I think this is not. I mean, it's a slight spoiler. I've been sore looks really cool. Like this, like he almost looks like a Frieza final form or something like that.
It does look cool.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued by the horror. I mean, there's like not a lot happens in it, but there's one thing where you're like, oh, that was particularly violent.
Yeah.
One moment. So it's very intriguing. It's very different than what the Green Lantern stuff that we know from our normal DC universe. They've definitely taken a bunch of names, just shook them up in a cup and threw them back out. You do see a lot of the lanterns. You see Hal and John, Joe name checked. There's one name checked.
Garner,
and so I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I just wish the artwork were different.
Do you also, I don't. Here, let me see if I can show with that. There's a thing that happens where people kind of go away, but do you notice what color the things that are staying behind are?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm like, oh, you're bringing it back. Al Ewing loves to dig back at the little things from before.
I am not super familiar with Green Lantern lore. Like I'm just because I've read comics for so long. I'm kind of
it's hard to keep up with all of it. There's so much. Yeah.
But it does feel like if you're more of a Green Lantern fan, there's definitely stuff in here where you're like, oh, they're doing this different kind of thing.
I know you said the art maybe doesn't fully vibe with you, but There are some really gnarly pages in this thing.
Yeah.
Uh, that have you ever seen that? There's a CBS show called The Dome where there's a
Uh-uh.
very similar scene where like people you can't see it. It's an invisible dome, so like
Mm.
there's like this car going full like they're on the driving, they're going full speed, and there's like people trying to tell them to stop on the other side of the dome because they can't see it. It reminded me of that. Um, yeah, really fun stuff.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, Jeff, let's ping over to you.
My turn. Well, here's another absolute book. Absolute
Woo!
Superman, number 6. Uh I'm enjoying this book. We get to see young Kal-El's first few days in Smallville, Kansas.
Mhm.
Um, we don't trust the government, don't trust big business. That's all I got to say.
I know, freaking Lazarus core. I don't. I There's one thing I hate the fact that I was like, are they trying to make Martha Kent a conspiracy nut? But are you a conspiracy nut if your conspiracy is actually true? You know,
Yeah, I think
that was really funny.
she's just a Midwest farmer
That's
that
really
just knows
funny.
stuff. I will say that I don't know how I feel about oh, and then I guess I forgot about the last page. We get to see I guess one of the main villains in this comic who is not a traditional Superman villain, which is pretty
Yes,
interesting.
that was crazy. That was an interesting thing. Maybe I wonder if they were like, hey, you other writer, are you gonna use this guy? Because if not,
Yeah.
maybe. Although with the name, I mean, the name of the corporation is Lazarus, so like it's not fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did not put that together in my head before. I guess that's on me. You're right. It's not on them. It's on us.
No, yeah, I didn't catch it until literally they just started were like in this issue they're like, oh, and they have these things you can sit in them for $1 million a minute or whatever. They turn you younger. And then at the very end I was just like,
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Let me turn my brain on now. Yeah, but it's a good
Which is
issue. Good issue.
cool because this one had a guest artist, and I wonder who came up with the design of the character at the end. If it was Carmine Di Giandomenico or was it Rafa Sandoval, who's the main artist? Like if he had come up with designs of all this stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
Um. Anyways,
And I'm
cool.
happy that Fire and Ice is getting a second miniseries.
I love I saw I will tell you this. I read it because DC sent us the stuff and I was getting ready for stuff for next week.
Mhm.
I didn't finish the other one, but if you like the first one, I think you're gonna enjoy this one. Those were just not like my up my alley. I do love the art.
Yeah, I think they're
Um
cute. I think
yeah.
they're not really up my alley either, but I like the fact that they're putting them out there.
But the first one has a really cool thing that happens like closer to the end of the issue. I think it's a fun hook. So I'll
Mhm.
probably check out the second one. And Stephen Barnes, Steve Barnes, yeah, I think that's his name. He's a great artist. Like
Yeah,
he knows how to draw these things that look fun and quirky and weird, but still look cool, like superhero cool.
yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah.
think you'll enjoy that. All right, before you keep going, maybe my favorite book this week,
Oh
Resurrection
yeah.
Man, Quantum Karma. I picked up these two covers. Uh, I didn't know anything about this guy. I don't know anything about Resurrection Man, and we might have talked a little bit about it last weekend. But you get this cool page of like, hey, you don't know who this guy is? Here's all you need to know, and then boom, we're off to the races. Ram V is a fantastic writer. So for those that don't know, Resurrection Man, every time this guy dies, whatever killed them is kind of like what's setting up his powers for the next time that he comes back around. When he comes back to life, so if he dies in an explosion, he might come back with like fire powers or something like that. But in this book, he dies by natural causes, like just by
Whoa.
old age. So what does that mean when he resurrects, right? It's very cool. Like just wow. I don't know. I don't know how I don't know. I would love to see if Ramby talks about like the concept of the conception of this book. Like did he have an idea and he pitched it to DC? Did DC want to do a Resurrection Man book, and they were asking around. Like, I don't know how this book came together, but it's very, very cool. My pick of the week for sure is Resurrection Man, which was tough because the other thing I want to talk about, if you don't bring it up, is also something that I really enjoyed. But highly recommend it. Did you read this one?
I did not, and I kind of now I might go back and pick it up. But it's interesting because he writes Rumby and his indie stuff, his image stuff. He also writes a lot about death. So it's like the mini lives of Layla Starr or whatever.
Yeah,
that's Rumby, right? Yeah. And then Rare Flavors.
Rare Flavors.
Also kind of dealing with life and death and what that means.
And his New Gods book too, like it's very much about the death of one of the new gods, right? So
yeah. So it's interesting. He definitely has a flavor about
a rare flavor, if you will.
A rare flavor.
Boom.
Nice.
There's a short. I think it's also 3 issues only.
Clip it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go back to it.
I think it's also a short series. So, and it's Black Label, so like it's not tied into anything or anything like that. So
yeah, that sounds real interesting, honestly. Another book I picked up, this latest issue of Birds of Prey, 20, just a solid issue. Nothing really super big happens. No big moments. Just another story arc. Oh, that's a cool cover.
I picked up
that's the
Zoe Thorogood April Fools.
The Zoe Thorogood. So I saw you post that, and I was just like, oh, I didn't even know that came back because I just grabbed my stack from my pull.
Yeah, I usually when I get my pull, I'll go to the back and then see if there's any covers that I would rather have instead of the main one, and then I just let the shop know, like, hey, I'm paying an extra $1 this week for this book because I changed the cover. Because they'll ask, at Titan, if you put a book back and you don't tell them, like the system will tell them, like, oh, did you not want to pull that one anymore or whatever. So I usually tell them, no, I just switch covers or whatever. Which, funny enough, and I'll let you get back to Birds of Prey in a second. When I went to Titan this week, their power was out, so I had to pay cash.
Oh,
luckily I had enough. I mean, they could take a credit card if needed, like the old school way on paper. But luckily I had enough cash, and then luckily it was a small week where I had enough cash on me that it would cover it. Because if it was been last week, I was like, no, we're gonna have to run. We're gonna have to run some kind of credit card business plan, or can you put these on layaway for me? I'll come back and pick them up.
Yeah, here, take my watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good issue. This Birds of Prey. The birds are working on a couple of different cases. They're split up amongst doing different things by themselves. But again, Kelly Thompson's just really good at writing these characters. There's a real sisterhood about them. It's really fun to read. And she writes Big Barda awesome. Like I just love I love her Barda. So
Kelly Thompson should do a Black Label Big Barda book.
Yeah, I would totally.
She could just go wild.
So good, so good. I also like that they bring up the.
This is kicking off a new arc.
Yeah, this is kicking off a new arc. I mean, it's tethered to stories that they've already told before.
Right.
And I like that they bring up this. They talk about Barda in New Gods a little bit, and they're like, "Well, she's busy with her Birds of Prey stuff. It doesn't really affect either comic, but it's fun. I like it when they pay attention."
Where's the baby?
Baby?
Where's the baby?
I'm gonna reach for my pile unless you say something.
All right, here's the last one I read. So then after that, I guess you can go wild. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, #1.
Nice.
This was if Resurrection Man hadn't come out, this would be my pick of the week. Charles Soule, Steve McNiven doing a Old Man Logan style of book for Daredevil. It's a limited series. It's only 3 issues. This would be Black Label if Marvel had a Black Label.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. It's
gnarly. That McNiven art in that is awesome.
Oh my!
Like it doesn't look like his McNiven style at all. Like normally,
it looks like I could do Frank Quietly, but gnarly. Yeah. Not the.
Well, it looks
not
like
the really.
Who does this Spider-Man Rain? Who's Spider-Man Rain?
Carrie Andrews.
It looks like the Carrie Andrews kind of like Spider-Man Rain stuff.
Yeah, here I'll show this page with all. Look at all these panels. It's like, yeah, just I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
really enjoy this one. This one's like about Matt's old. He's lost his powers. A lot of bad stuff's happened in the world where like all he can do now to help people is like run a soup kitchen type of thing in Hell's Kitchen, but trouble keeps finding him. There's an explosion in Hell's Kitchen, and Matt has to kind of step back into the fray of things, and it just devolves from there. But it's very very cool. I really like the stuff in the back. There's some like a little bit of the script and kind of the pitch for this, which they don't normally do, but I guess this way they can charge you more for the book. There's
So
like
yeah,
sketches, McNiven doing sketches and stuff. So really, really cool stuff. Charles Soule, man, he just has such a good grasp on the character of Daredevil. It's crazy.
yeah.
So and after this is a fun bookend to the book that I talked about last week that we read for Comic Book Club, The Man Without Fear, because that's like Matt at the beginning, Matt at the end. Boom, just like two really cool series. And I mean, this is also a very Dark Knight Rises type of or Dark Knight Returns type of book too, right? So
Yeah.
um,
It's still waiting for me at the shop because
oh, is your
Diamond
stuff late? Did you get your
Diamond is.
Marvel stuff from last week?
I got my stuff from last week. I did not, no, but I
Okay,
missed
so
out
you'll
on the
pick it
Marvel
up
stuff
all
from
at the
this
same
week.
time. Oh,
Yeah. So the last thing I read for this week is this new book, Pastime from Mad Cave, which is really interesting concept. So the guy, I think it's maybe this main guy here,
mm-hmm.
wants to play baseball, but he's a vampire. Spoilers. Also, it takes place in the early 1900s.
If you can't tell by the logo,
Yeah, if you can't tell by the logo, just the hints within the cover art. But it takes place like back before they just started introducing electricity to the game of baseball so they could play at night. So I guess we haven't gotten into it, but my guess is that he loved the game of baseball, but you can't play it if you're a vampire during the day. So, once he has the ability to play baseball at night, he's going to play baseball. It has kind of a Field of Dreams kind of story arc to it, so it's being told in hindsight. It looks maybe the guy's a reporter trying to hunt down the story about the baseball player or the vampire. We don't know, but it's told in
interview with a
hindsight.
vampire about baseball though.
Yeah,
What if
it's
what if Lestat had gone on to play baseball for a while? Is that what you're
he
saying
was
in this series?
shortstop. Yeah,
Woo-hoo-hoo. I
so
mean, he does eventually start a rock band or something. Lestat. So if you're not familiar with the interview with the vampire lore, so it could happen.
it could happen. You want to go into things I've not read yet?
So I do have one more that I read. I just don't have. I just
Go for it.
remember. I read the. I was a fashion. I was a. What's it
Oh
called?
yeah. The
Don't have it.
fashion. I did
Image
see that.
censored this. I was a fashion school killer. Fashion school murder. Jeez, Alu. Image censored this book. I'll get the name in a second, but it's really cool. I really love the premise. You follow this serial killer that goes into fashion school. I was a fashion school serial killer. That's the name of the title. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's my shop didn't have it, and I don't know if it sold out or if it was delayed. So I need to go chase it down. But Image did send us a preview, so that's what I was reading yesterday. I like it, although I feel like this serial killer needs to be a little bit more careful. So that's all I'll say. But it's a very interesting premise. So I'm gonna keep reading this for sure. But I feel like things are gonna get gnarly if she doesn't just take more care on being a serial killer. Even
Yeah,
if she can get the evidence by later on wearing it, she needs to stop killing people out in the open. So
right. It's
all right,
dangerous. It's
that's the
not a
last
good way
one.
to live.
So you can go into your pickups now, and I'll
Uh,
follow along
I
if I
picked
can.
I picked up the reprint of this GI Joe 21, initially published from Marvel,
Okay.
now published by Skybound. This is their famous silent issue because there's no words in it, and they republished this because they published this new silent issue, Beachhead. So these are produced by Skybound. So I don't know if they're part of the Energon universe exactly per se, or if they're just kind of one-offs. I haven't
I
flipped
think
through
those
it yet.
follow the old continuity because they're still publishing Real American Hero under Skybound, like new stories.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a separate timeline from the Energon.
But this one was by Phil Hester, so I wanted to pick it up for the Phil Hester stuff.
Nice.
I picked up the newest issue of Cruel Kingdom. You know, that's always fun.
Yeah, I haven't read it,
Uh,
but I'm very excited for it.
yeah. The newest issue of Lucky Devils. That's your cover's better than mine.
I saw this one because my shop pulled the other one, and I love Ryan Brown, but I was like, I can't not pick up this Jenny Frison cover, and I can only buy one.
Yeah. This is from last week's X-Men that I missed out on
Oh yeah,
because of the diamond, and then last week's Savage Wolverine still polybagged. I've not had time to.
well, let me show
dig
you the
up.
rest of the Marvel books I have. See what's on your list. So I picked up Marvel. What is this? Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe One Last Time. Number 1. This is a miniseries. I haven't read this one though. I picked up Concert of Champions, number 1.
Oh,
I love these little books. I think this is just a one shot and it's silly and it's weird.
yeah.
So I can't wait. And I love Dazzler, so I'm very excited to read it. I don't play this, but I knew that I want to talk about. I want to make a video for this, so I wanted to check it out because Marvel
Yeah.
Rivals is very popular. So this is their connection comic to that, the first one. Ultimate Comics, Ultimate X-Men number 14. I'm still a little behind on this, but I'm catching up. Also behind on Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu. I don't know why they're turning on Matt. I feel like this guy was his friend before, and now not on Matt, Mark.
Maybe they have the wrong person.
Maybe.
And
and
this isn't
then
Daredevil.
the last one I had was X-Men number 14. So I don't know if any of that stuff was on your pull list. Maybe
Just the X-Men. Just the X-Men.
Jeez. You know, this X-Men's not my favorite, but then sometimes I'll open up a page. Is this Ryan Stegman on this one? Yeah, it is. Because he draws like, you open up the page and you look at something cool. Like, hold on. Damn it, I just had it. Man, I lost it. Where is it? Here, like, just, I don't know what's going on. I'm behind, so I don't know what, like, but then you look at this cool dude and I'm like, oh, yeah. Give me Ryan Stegman. I don't want to spoil too much for you. So there it is. That's all the comics that I have to talk about.
That's it. Yeah,
that's it.
I think the only thing I had left for that I was not able to pick up was the newest issue of Tin Can Society and the newest issue of Godzilla Heist.
Oh yeah. Godzilla Heist. I need to read that. I haven't read it, and I know we have a copy from IDW somewhere. I should go chase that down.
It's good. Really cool concept.
All right. To kind of talk, I mean, this is what we're going to talk about the rest of the show. Cinemacon is going on this week in Vegas. Now, for those that don't know, Cinemacon is like a convention for movie theater executives, I guess, like the people who actually run movie theaters, like the big chains, AMC, Regal, maybe Cinemark. I don't know how deep they get into like cinema people, but
Front Row Joe was there.
Yeah, who?
Front Row Joe. He used to be the mascot for Cinemark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I remember that guy.
We'll look up Front Row Joe later.
But what happens here is that all these studios are just giving theaters like, here's what's coming out for the rest of the year or whatever, like, so you can prepare and get excited for it. But as regular people that don't get to go there, we get to see a few things that maybe are exciting. This is kind of like a pre-Comic-Con thing,
Yeah.
right? Where like, and I know Star Wars Celebration is next month or later this month, so that I'm sure we'll be getting some announcements out of that. But we got some cool stuff. I think Sony started off earlier in the week, which really bad timing because it was on March 31st, like on the evening. So like all the news were breaking like either that evening or the next day on April 1st. So like on April 1st, nobody believed
I didn't pay
anything.
attention to any of the announcements. I was like those Spider-Man announcements. I was like, is that real? I'm gonna wait for
Right.
confirmation.
So they have confirmed that in 2026 we will have the next Sony Marvel's MCU movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, for those not familiar, Brand New Day is what they titled the Amazing Spider-Man series after the events of One More Day, where it kind of reset everything. I think Dan Slott took over not too long after that. If I remember correctly. Um, so yeah, I mean, which makes sense because this is also a reset for the MCU, Peter, right
Yeah.
after the event No Way Home. But like I mentioned, because of the announcements happening, like I put up a little short video just with all the information and a comic book cover, and somebody commented like, "Bro, it's April Fools," and I'm like, "No, no, no, this was announced." And I told them this was announced on March 31st. So this is real. So Jeff, have you read Brand New Day, or like were you reading Spider-Man at the time, like
No,
after
by this
it came
point I
out?
had dumped out. So I
Okay,
was reading the Straczynski run, which precedes one day
Brand New Day.
more, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, one more day. Yeah.
One more day. Because he's the one that he was the last writer before that transition happened. So
Yep.
I dumped out of the Straczynski run when Norman Osborn had a secret love child with Gwen Stacy. That storyline that
Mm,
never fully developed or whatever. I don't remember what happened
good.
with that.
I mean, it probably shouldn't have. So, but
Uh,
man, Straczynski had some bangers. Though. Like the Civil War stuff was really good. The Back in Black I really like. Uh,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
I personally am a fan of One More Day. But I understand why people don't like it. But I don't have all the baggage of like 30 years of Spider-Man prior to reading that. Because I
yeah,
was just reading those as arcs, right? I didn't go back and just read the full Straczynski run. I might have ran into more hurdles, I think, like you, if you were reading that, week to week or whatever, month to month. So
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, it's not anything. I mean, I understand the importance of. I haven't read any of those comics really because it was out. You destroyed Peter and MJ, so why would I want to?
I hope
You
they
get
now
no choice.
realize that you with the success of Ultimate Spider-Man that maybe you can let Spider-Man um be happy as an adult.
Yeah,
He
I think
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have to. So he can be with Mary Jane, and it'll be all right.
we have to
Um,
wait until CB Sabowski is no longer editor in chief.
Spider-Man new trilogy. Who this? No More Home. I like No More Home. That's really
Yeah.
good. Um, and then they also announced that we will be getting the next installment of the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse. We got a few pictures of some really cool art. That's all going to come out in 2027, I think.
Okay.
2027, 2026. I may not be getting the dates for all these things correctly, but they're not happening this year. I'll tell you that. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about. Um,
Shamik Moore has plenty of time to get his act together.
oof,
Speaking of,
yikes!
I wonder. I felt bad for him because uh, Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld were on a Hot Ones also
Oh,
uh, this week. They did one of those one versus one Hot One episodes
where
to
you
promote
had
their
to
new
eat the wing
movie.
if you don't want to answer a
Yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah. And he didn't come up, but they just
Oh,
had so much. Looked like they were having so much fun and had so much chemistry. Not that they're together or anything like that, but I just imagine Shamik Moore watching that, just being like, "Could have been. We could have had fun together eating hot wings."
you think Shamik Moore hangs out with Drake, and they're just both like,
Sad.
ah,
I think so. 100%.
oh god. We also had the Warner Brothers panel. They announced some cool stuff, but obviously the big thing of it was, hey, you wanna see what happens with that dog in that movie? So we
I
got the
don't.
extended sneak peek.
I'm glad I got a because every time they talk about the dog, like in interviews and stuff, they always are just like, oh, this dog's an asshole. Like they're like really. I'm just like, oh, why would you make an unlikable dog? Like the way they talk about the dog, but then to see it in action, where I'm like, oh, I get it. It's just a dog being a dog.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. And James Gunn has talked about like the inspiration for Crypto was a dog that he rescued
yeah.
that one day destroyed an $8,000 computer. Uh, so where he was working on this movie, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so like, yeah, that makes sense. And when you see it, like, dogs don't know immediately that
Yeah.
you're hurt or that you're in trouble, right? They just want to play,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I bet Superman has a very playful relationship with Crypto. Like you could just kind of tell that the way the Superman's being portrayed. So yeah, it
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sense that he's poking at him, and obviously Crypto is super strong, so it's gonna hurt a lot more than just a regular dog. Uh, they they also added. I don't know if this was in the first one. I don't think I noticed, but when I was watching it, he has like more bruising around in his face and neck area.
Yeah. I feel like he looked way more banged up than.
Yeah. So,
It could be because we
but
spend more time with him, but
we get we get to see like what happens when Crypto takes him home and they go back to the fortress, which that's what the shot behind us is
yeah.
the fortress shows up and you get to see the robots, which one of them is voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Hmm.
You hear some Kryptonian voices in the background, which could be recordings of his parents, or maybe Superman thinking about his parents. Which I heard a theory, and I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. Uh, so take it with a grain of salt. There's been rumors that Bradley Cooper is in this film somewhere, and the
I've heard
rumor
this rumor.
is that now after listening to this, some people are saying that the voice you hear that could be Jor-El could be Bradley Cooper.
Or
Um,
Rocket.
or
This could
Rocket.
be,
Rocket.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Those Rockets speak Kryptonian? He might. I guess he could
He
have a
might.
translator. Yeah,
He's the smartest thing in the world, or whatever.
that's right. I do love when he talks down to Tony. That's so fun. Like, anyways, but yeah. So, cool stuff. The rest of the sneak peek. Obviously, we get to see like the robots putting Kal-El in this like machine to give him some sunlight, which is what we were joking about when we first started this episode. So
Yes.
here's finally the payoff of the sunroom jokes from earlier.
If you
Um,
stayed this long with us, congratulations. You got the
yeah.
payoff.
So I don't know what did you think of this sneak peek? Because the rest of it was just the same teaser that we saw back in December, like pretty much.
Yeah,
Like there might be a few moments longer, like but very small changes.
I definitely enjoyed. It's a fun peek as to kind of more of the tone and flavor of what the movie is going to be like. I'm excited for it. Yeah, I can't
Mhm.
wait for it to come out. Let's get to it.
I know. I'm so ready. That month is gonna be insane. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm very excited for what is it, July, right? Like all
Yeah,
these Jurassic World, the Fantastic Four,
I do think it
Superman.
was fun that the rest of Warner Brothers uh, presentation was just David Zaslav just cutting films, saying for tax write-offs. He just brought out a giant slate. And he was just like, no, not this one, not this one,
Like just
not this one.
highlighting it with a red
Yeah, yeah,
marker.
yeah, exactly. So that was a fun presentation from Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Now I'm looking through. I know we can talk a little bit of Marvel, but before we get into that, uh, did you watch the trailer for Megan 2?
I did. I so I don't know if we talked
Well,
about the first teaser trailer because I was like, I'm a little uncomfortable with how they like because Megan's like a little girl, like the real life person Megan, and I'm like, and there I feel like it's weirdly sexualizing. I'm just really uncomfortable, still uncomfortable. But in the trailer, we do get like this. She's like, it's smart that she's been upgraded, because the actor has grown up a little bit.
Yeah,
So the way that
a
they
fun
go
thing.
about handling that is very smart, I think. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is genius. And then the second movie, clearly a departure from the first movie. Once you get into that trailer, where you're like, this is full on sci-fi action now than it more so than it
Well,
was like.
something I saw, because I did a video that's not out yet, but I'll give you a sneak peek. I guess it should be out later today, maybe. I just need to find time to edit all these things. People in the comments were saying, "Oh, so Megan 1, Terminator, Megan 2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, uh, or even like Alien 2, right? Or
Yeah,
Aliens." Um,
yeah. It's definitely the
smart.
pivot to, yeah. Which also I kind of feel like, because in the other, I'm calling him, is this because this is James Wan, isn't it? Is
Blumhouse,
it
yeah, Blumhouse, James Wan,
Bloomhouse?
James Wan product, yeah.
In the other, the tumor one, the malignant.
Oh
Malignant
yeah,
weirdly also turns into like an action movie at the kind of at the end of it a little bit.
that jail scene.
Yeah, which is why I'm just like, please, can we get a Megan versus Malignant movie? That's all I want out of life now.
Oh man, I don't know. Megan's got some pretty big upgrades. I don't know if Malignant could handle that, because Malignant is just
There's
that
only one way
lazy.
to find out, and it's in a
Yeah,
movie.
it's like Malignant reminds me of that the quote from The Office where it's like Dwight saying he absorbed his twin in the womb, and he's like, so now I have the strength of an adult man and a baby. So like, so this lady pretty much just has this strength of
An
herself,
adult
which is
woman
just a regular lady, and then also a baby
and
that
a
she
baby.
absorbed, and a baby. So yeah, I don't know if that would turn off from Malignant, but I'm very excited about Megan too. I thought the first one was pretty ingenious. I feel like if they're smart, they're gonna produce that little doll thing that Megan's in at first,
Hmm.
and they're gonna sell like hotcakes, or that should be the popcorn bucket.
Yeah,
The little
yeah.
robot is the popcorn bucket, which apparently there was a whole panel at the Cinemacon about popcorn buckets,
I
and
saw
I
a
would
sketch
love
about
to
that.
have been
Yeah.
there. I would just love to have been there, because I wonder if they brought up like, what are people doing with these afterwards? Like, like, do we want
How
to
was
keep making them with like Dune popcorn buckets?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Uh,
All right.
I have a couple of things that I picked out that I'm
Yeah,
interested in
go
from
go for it. Go
Cinemacon.
for it. I wasn't sure if you had any specific things
Uh,
you want to talk about. We can.
Maggie Gyllenhaal has a movie that she is directing called The Bride, which is about the
Yep.
Bride of Frankenstein. It's kind of a reimagined that, and it's the way they're describing it, it's like true romance. And what was the Emma Stone movie that just came out that was real way? Poor Things, I think is what it was called.
More things. Yep.
Yeah, they're like, it says it's like that mashed together. It's just kind of like sexy, but they're
So
monsters and it's weird and it's kind of like Bonnie and Clyde, kind of true romancy is what they're calling it. So it sounds really intriguing.
yeah, that's what I have on the article that I pulled up from Gizmodo. Shout out. Is like, what if you took Sid and Nancy, natural born killers, and Bonnie and Clyde, and threw them in a blender? Which
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that would be pretty freaking wild. And it's Christian Bale and J.C. Buckley. Like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, I'll watch anything with I'll watch anything with them. So
So that looks
that's
cool.
exciting.
The other thing I keyed in on, they haven't done much. They said during the presentation, I mean, it was very raw, but the Masters of the
Oh, good.
Universe movie that's coming out,
Oh yeah, yeah.
uh, uh, I know that we've kind of made fun of Jared Leto being Skeletor. I think is weirdly a genius casting
I
choice.
think it's great casting. Nobody's
Uh,
skeletons. Like,
yeah, exactly. But it's being Travis Knight is the director of this Masters of the Universe movie, and he directed Bumblebee.
yeah,
And so I'm just like, oh, I really like Bumblebee. And so I started looking up stuff that he did. He also directed Kubo and the Two Strings, which I really enjoyed.
I love that
Uh,
movie.
he produced Paranorman and Box Trolls. He is. As I was reading down his thing, I was just like, oh, I like everything this guy does. And then I went and read his Wikipedia page, and he is the most nepo kid of all time, kind of. He's the
Mhm.
son of one of the guys that started Nike. So, and he was a rapper, like when he was a young kid, he wanted to be a rapper. So he cut a record in his dad's like music studio, because when you own Nike, you might as well have a music studio in your house.
Makes sense.
Uh, and then he released one album, didn't like it. Then his dad bought out an animation company, and then they put him in they hired the son, Travis, as like an intern, and then he became vice president after the dad Hostel took over the rest of the animation company. But it turns out for the best, because then he went on to help produce uh, Paranorman, and he's won Emmys and or Oscars and stuff for like his production work. And then he went on to direct Bumblebee, and I'm like, well, I like his stuff, so maybe
It is.
nepotism worked in this case.
It is. It is nicer, not completely nice, but it is nicer when nepo babies actually have talent, and you're like, okay, well,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
maybe they got here quicker, but maybe they would have gotten here eventually,
yeah,
anyways.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. And so
that's really
reading some of his stuff, he's like, oh yeah. I mean, obviously, if he loves, you can see the love of his G1 Transformers in
hmm
Bumblebee.
But it
So I
feels
would
like he's
imagine
in
he
the
has a
right
lot of
age
love.
as well. He's in the right age
Hmm.
group for like, oh, big fan of Transformers and GI Joe and and
I
Masters of
think
the
he's like
Universe. And these
51
were
years
all,
old, something like
yeah,
that. So yeah, he
yeah,
definitely grew up with these things. Uh, and the people that were there at Cinemacon, they came out, like they did their little videos, and they're like, oh, we gotta shit, clips. They were like, yeah, it's definitely all the pre-production art and stuff looks very influenced by the G1 Master of the Universe stuff. Uh, and they said they got a couple of clips. They're still building sets and working on CGI and stuff. So a lot of what they have is just test footage. What they were able to show was test footage and stuff. But they were
yeah.
like, everything that we saw looks great. So I'm really excited for it. So
Nice, nice. Let me see what else is on the list here. Of course, I know you're very excited for the third film in the Now You See Me franchise.
yes. How
Uh,
did I give you my pitch for this movie? It should just be because it's Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
yep,
Uh, and it should just be them in the first 5 minutes of the film. You're Woody Harrelson and whoever else is part of that crew, and then you don't see them again until the very end of the movie. Is how I would pitch that movie.
that makes
But then
sense.
you do a thing where it's like Ocean's 11, and in the back you find out, oh, it was this hand that you missed
Or
in the
like they were
background.
in disguises all along, like in the
Yeah, if you
Fast
just
and
paid attention
Furious.
to the movie,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, you would
in
have
Fate
seen
of the
them.
Furious, where you see like, oh, that driver was the driver from the beginning all this whole time.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. That's how I want this movie to turn out.
yeah, I
Or
like.
literally, they set up the thing and then they just don't like. It's a weird. It'd be the most expensive movie of all time, but then they just don't release the movie.
So one thing I'm pretty excited for is Predator Badlands.
Yeah, that looks cool
I
too.
I love the Predator franchise. Dan Trachtenberg is going to be directing this after the success of Prey. If you haven't seen Prey,
Oh, it's so good.
you are doing yourself a disservice. Have you seen Prey, Jeff?
I've seen Prey. It's good.
Okay, good. I
We
was
did it
about
for the
to.
show. We watched it for the show.
Oh, that's right. Oh, shit. We should really get a letterbox for the show so I can track all the things we've actually done. But it seems really cool, like this kind of dystopian future where Elle Fanning somehow is one of the sisters that maybe they're being predated upon or whatever. So I don't know what it's gonna be, but the fact that we're getting a new Predator film and they're like, oh, we should actually put this in the theaters instead of just dropping it on Hulu.
Yeah,
It's very
that's
cool. So um, before we get to Marvel, are you a fan of the Avatar movies?
no, I'm done. I'm done with
Okay,
them.
great. Me neither. Excellent. We'll just move on. So we got one thing I think during the final reckoning in Mission Impossible panel or for Paramount, I guess. Tom Cruise was there, and we know Tom Cruise loves the movie theaters. I feel like that's say what you will with Tom Cruise. One thing he's always really stuck up for is the movie theaters and the movies being at the theater, right? He's held steadfast to make sure that Top Gun Maverick would be released in a theater and not just drop straight at home during those times. But he also he talked about Val Kilmer because after when that panel was happening, the news had just happened the day before, and he held a moment of silence for Val Kilmer. So I thought that was very nice. Um, we got to see some concept art for Tron Ares, which I'm
Nice.
reluctantly excited for. Like I remember enjoying the second one, but I'm like, I don't know if I like. Do I like Tron movies or do I just like the idea of Tron movies?
Yeah, I'm
Um,
kind of the same way. I'll probably watch. I mean, it's got the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack and stuff.
I
So
know it's and this was like, once again, Jared Leto's also in this, so like, who knows how that's gonna turn out? But yeah. Um, all right. I think that's some of the highlights. There's a bunch of stuff. Like I'm very excited. Apparently, 2025 is gonna have some really cool movies, right? We have
yeah,
Ballerina coming out. We have Black Phone 2. A whole bunch of stuff coming in the horizon. Final Destination, a new Final Destination movie.
I saw the
Um,
trailer. I'm excited for that.
looks great. All right, so we're gonna let's close out with Marvel. We got about 15 minutes left. We can probably marvel it up. Um, they talked a little bit about Fantastic Four First Steps. Some new footage was shown a little bit, but the one big thing was that they confirm, and I guess this also maybe a slight spoiler for the film, but I think it was a pretty prevalent theory that Sue Storm is pregnant in this movie,
Yes,
which makes sense with the
Franklin,
title, Franklin Richards. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what that means.
and I hope
Um,
Franklin is played by Timothy Chalamet.
just a full born like a
Just a full born. I take
he
it
comes
back. I
out
don't
of
want him to
full
be the
born.
Beyonder. I want him to be Franklin.
I want it to be like in Dragon Ball where you have baby Franklin and then a Franklin from the future. A
Yeah.
displaced Franklin from the future shows up to try to help them out, and that's Timothy Chalamet. So we all know that baby's gonna grow up to be Timothy Chalamet. Although, have we ever seen Timothy Chalamet as a blonde? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We might have to lighten his hair a little bit.
We can
Um,
Photoshop it.
I'm sure Disney has the technology.
Yeah.
Um, the other
Over and
the other big Marvel thing was Thunderbolts. That's right around the corner. Like we are less than a month from Thunderbolts. I think tickets go on sale this upcoming Monday as of
Monday.
the
Yeah.
recording of this. Um, do you ever buy tickets that far in advance?
Not normally that far in advance. But I will. I mean, like a couple of weeks ahead. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I feel like we have. So I guess because I try to go to big movies like this the first time by myself
Hmm.
just to catch them and really be able to like enjoy them and pay attention. Sometimes when you go with other people, it can be a little distracting, and I love
Yeah.
my friends, but if
They're a little
I'm trying to
difficult.
pay attention, yeah, I came to the movies to watch a movie, not to hang out and talk. Um, unless they move on to those special screenings that we talked about with like cell phones allowed and you can be distracting or whatever.
Right.
You have to pay extra for those. But yeah, Thunderbolts is right around the corner. They dropped this video of like the making of featurette where it's like you get to see some of the stunts. You get to see Florence Pugh jump off this gigantic building in Dubai, I think. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like the world's second tallest building. Um,
I
and you
would
get to
not do
see.
that.
I know we think that these performers have very cushy, easy lives, and they make a lot of money, and they do. But part of it is because they're doing insane shit like this,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Definitely giving Tom Cruise a run. That's why
I
Tom
know,
Cruise showed up because he's like he saw there was a big stunt I saw. I need to
yeah.
go do it.
The Thunderbolts also showed up. Some of them showed up in the limousine from the movie,
That's funny.
driven by David Harbour. I think there's videos of David Harbour driving that thing around, and it was David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, Florence Pugh, and what's Val's name? Julia Louis-Dreyfus. They showed up in at Comic-Con, and they showed some additional footage and stuff like that. So it was I'm pretty pumped. I'm very excited for what both Marvel and DC have to offer for the rest of the year.
As am I.
No trepidation here. So
do we have anything else? Because I'm about to burst, and I know we only.
Oh yeah, I think we're good. We can close out the show. So
nice.
So all right, yeah. You can't tell me I can't handle 3 or 4 minutes on my own, Jeff. We don't have to wait. We'll just have to add an intermission after an hour in. We'll be like, we'll be right back. Yeah. So. All right, cool. Well, before Jeff bursts, although that would be great to see on screen, I just saw that you sent a message.
Yeah.
I know. Shout out Cory Booker.
Shout out Cory Booker.
You're the real MVP. All right, we'll let you guys go. I'll close out the show. Jeff, go ahead. You can take off. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Of course. All right. Anybody that are watching this afterwards, thank you for watching. As always, make sure to share, like, leave a comment. Stay tuned. We have a whole bunch of stuff on the channel. I don't have to go to the restroom yet, but I guess I will close out. For the upcoming stuff, we got some videos dropping, more gameplay for Star Wars. I also have I was able to get a hold of a box of the new Pokemon set, the Journey Together. So I'll open that on stream later on. And of course, more videos, movie reviews, trailer reactions, some more videos about the Nintendo Direct, a lot of really fun stuff. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully we'll be back soon with the full crew. But as always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
The most important ththing in life will always be
Hail Bebo.
Twitter loves you.
Simon Center, get the fuck out.
All right, bye.
Get out of here, you weird.